This is the Big O Show. This is the Big
July
O Show.
30th, Danny Garcia is going to be taking on Jose Benavides, and he is kind enough to join us now on the program. Danny, how you doing, baby?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. I'm looking forward to it. How does how is the mindset for you as you prepare for stuff like this when you're this far out? How is it that you motivate yourself every day? You know, I saw in interviews you're already motivated. You want to pound the hell out of them. You're bigger, you're stronger. You want to go out there and prove it. I heard all of that. But
Right.
mindset wise, are there stages that you go through to get to that pinnacle?
Well, for me, I just take it one day at a time. One day at a time, and I just make every day count. And every day that goes by, I'm just getting one day closer, and I'm mentally and physically and spiritually preparing myself for the fight. So that's how I usually take it. I usually just take it one fight at a time. I don't like to be ahead of myself. That's how you get anxious and start, overthinking. So I just take it one day at a time. One day at a time. Make it count.
Now, but emotionally, right? Because obviously you must get jacked the night or the night of the fight and all that. What do you have to do to kind of restrain yourself from then till from now till then? Is there anything you have to do to restrain yourself from not getting too emotional or outwork your or
Yeah.
overwork or something
Right.
along those lines? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes that anger is driven, that wanting to be great, all those kind of things that you athletes possess. You know, the invincibility quality in all of you and all of that. I think sometimes you have to kind of, protect yourself from yourself, is what I'm saying.
For sure. So yeah, there's definitely a such thing as overtraining and things like that. You want to train hard. You want to push yourself to the limit. But some days you gotta know when to tone it down. Some days you gotta, cause you want to be in the best shape of your life going into the fight. And yeah, you're supposed to push yourself every day to the limit. But sometimes you have to know when to go extra mile, and some days is okay. That's enough. So, like I said before, I just take it one day at a time. We work as a team. We get better and better every day, and we just show out fight night.
Now, I know you're not going to tell me your weaknesses or what you're struggling with, but you are debuting at 154.
Yes,
So,
sir.
what are the adjustments? Okay. In a way, because there's got to be an adjustment, right?
Hundred
Holding the
percent.
weight, all those kind of things. Maybe the people you're sparring with, a little bigger, they weigh a little bit more, all that kind of
Hundred
stuff.
percent.
So yeah, so walk us through moving up and challenging yourself at this weight.
For sure. It's always been a dream of mine to be a three-division world champion, and I feel like this is the first step to doing that. It's going up in weight, and we've been preparing ourselves mentally, physically, and I'm working on. I want to build a lot more muscle. I want to be a lot stronger, a lot bigger. A lot of people don't know how big I am because I shrunk myself down to 140, 147, but I'm naturally a big guy. So I'm gonna be fighting at my walk around weight. I'm gonna feel strong. Everything I've been through in my career, I'm use all that experience fight night and put it all together.
That's good stuff. Danny Garcia joining us here. Don't forget, you can catch him on Showtime July 30th at the Barclays Center. And you're a Philly guy, right? But obviously Puerto Rican at heart, right? Like
Yes,
me,
sir.
I'm born in
Okay.
Blvd, Florida, pero los padres míos son cubanos. So obviously
Right.
that's it's in my
Latinos,
soul.
baby.
It's in my blood, right?
Yes, sir.
And and while boxing, while I love boxing, and obviously Cuban blood, my dad, brother, I grew up and every week my dad's getting Ring magazine, and we're watching the fights and all that stuff. So I grew up with boxing in my blood too. So I ask you this because I can only ask Puerto Ricans and Mexicans and Cubans that come from the island, not even my kind of Cuban, me. No, no, when you think about this, we don't cherish boxing in this country like Puerto Ricans do,
Hundred
like
percent.
Mexicans do. So I'm just wondering when you run into your American Philly fans or American fans like myself, and we talk about you and we talk about your game and your passion, it's different than when you talk to a Puerto Rican who they take it like it's one of their national sports. It's something
Definitely.
that they cherish. It's something that they take pride in. So, how much does that mean to you that you have to kind of live up to that Puerto Rican boxing legacy?
It means a lot to me. I grew up watching Felix Trinidad. Felix Trinidad was like the world, he was everything. Coming up in a Puerto Rican household, Felix Trinidad, when he won, people threw parades in Philly. That's
Yeah,
how big Trinidad was. So I love Trinidad, and I always grew up watching Puerto Rican boxing. Then when Trinidad was done, Cotto came in the picture.
that's right.
Yeah, so you always had a lot of great Puerto Rican fighters. So I took a little bit out of all them fighters growing up watching them. Took a little bit from Trinidad with his big left hook and Cotto with his body punching. So I always looked up to those guys, and I feel like they opened the doors for me. And I looked up to a lot of fighters from Philly. Bernard Hopkins. I always tell people I feel like I got the best of both worlds. I got the Puerto Rican power and the Philly toughness and the Philly skills. So it's a perfect mixture. I grew up in two great environments, the Puerto Rican boxing environment and the Philly environment. So it's just a perfect mixture, and I always take that into the ring with me.
The difference is, well, Hopkins had a personality, but when you talk about Trinidad and Cotto, brother, they don't even come close to the bravado you show.
Oh yeah, for sure. I try. I try to
No,
have
no,
fun
you
with it.
do. You don't try, buddy.
Yeah,
You do. You're good.
yeah, I
You're
try to
good.
have fun with it.
You know how to sell the fight. You know how to sell
For
yourself.
sure.
By the way, that was one of the things that pissed me off about Trinidad, that he didn't learn the English language to sell himself. Dude, you know how much money he left in marketing as good as
Yeah,
that guy
100%.
was?
But he
God,
was so
back in those days, I'm old, man. I've been doing radio a long time. So I remember when he was out, and it was like, you're one of the best fighters in the world. Dude, learn a little bit of the language. Come on over and make some money, dude, and sell your name, sell who you are. Because I think Tito is still underrated.
Yeah, I feel like they don't speak
Seriously,
about him. They don't talk about him enough as they should. Like I see them
because he
talking
didn't
about a lot
sell
of other great
himself.
fighters, and I
Right.
just feel like a part of it is just because he loves being Puerto Rican. He loves his culture, and he doesn't want to. He's okay
Like,
with his
like
people just loving him.
Camacho. Like Camacho. We'll never stop talking about Hector Macho Camacho.
Yeah, he was.
Ever.
He was
Because
controversial in and out the ring. So people like that, you never stop talking about.
yeah, and he sold himself. He was great at selling himself when he was in his peak, right? And why?
100%.
Because he knew both languages, so he knew how to manipulate both. And that was one of the things to this day it frustrates me with Tito, that we would be talking more about Tito if Tito went out to sell himself, but he was happy being in it, being in the island, being within his
Yeah,
family, and all of that. Hey, listen,
100%. I
some
mean,
people some people don't have that personality in them. They're just not that person.
yeah,
Derek Jeter is one person and Ricky Henderson was another, 2
100%.
different completely, we look at Mike Trout, right? And he's a completely different player than, because he's quiet as hell and he's a superstar.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I mean?
he lets his skills speak for itself. So
Right. But it's
some
you
fighters
and
are
me.
like that. Some fighters have a lot of skill and just don't really speak a lot. And some
Right.
fighters have a personality. It's just who you are as a person. You really can't change it because then you kind of be stepping out your own character. But if you have it in you, you got, just let it out.
Yeah. The good thing is the hardcore people like you and me, we don't forget the Tito Trinidads, and we say, "Hey, man, listen, this guy."
Oh
Alexis
no.
Arguello was another quiet guy too, really respectful dude, one of the great fighters of all time,
Yep.
Alexis Arguello. You know what I mean? So it's just one of
Definitely. A
those.
lot of those guys are humble, great champions. Humble, great champions who just
Exactly.
love boxing and love their people, and they were cool with that.
All right.
And
All right.
to me, they're legends, and I'll never forget about them.
What's the toughest thing for you now, bouncing back from the Spence fight?
The tough. It's really nothing tough, to be honest. I just took some time off, let my mind rest, let my body rest. I've been boxing for 24 years, so I don't think layoffs are going to affect me. I'm feeling good. The first couple weeks in the gym are always tough. When you haven't got hit in a long time, but I feel good. It's like riding a bike, and every day we working to get better. So right now we're just taking it one day at a time. That's just my mindset.
And I ask you this, and of course we're talking with Danny Garcia, and I ask you this because we all have setbacks. I've been fired. We've lost people we love. We have breakups. We businesses, go.
100%.
You lose your business. We all have setbacks in life, and that's what makes us better people and better and our characters stronger because we get to learn
Exactly.
from those kind of situations.
Right.
But it's funny because when we talk about sports as sports fans, we talk about a team losing or a boxing match or a UFC match or something, and somebody loses, and we talk about it very loosely, but in the end, we all suffer the same kind of experiences in life. Obviously, yours is a little different, just like
Absolutely.
me. When I got fired from a radio station, everybody knew that I got fired from the radio station, just like everybody knows whether you win or lose
Right.
a fight.
Because
Most
you're in the
people
public
in life,
eye.
exactly. Most people in life, when they have their failures, it's all behind the scenes, only family and
Exactly.
friends, right? And it's hard, but it's one of those mental challenges. So, what is it that carries you the best through all difficult situations?
Speaking more of that, I heard like Barack Obama say that one time. He said that you know, when regular people lose, no one knows. But when you're in the spotlight, you lose in the world. So you lose to the world. So it's a lot harder because you got to take the criticism and you got to take what everyone says and thinks about you. But me, I'm the type of person I never listen to what people think. I always did my own thing. I always still locked in. And like I said before, like you said, we all have losses. If you lose somebody in your family, you lose your job. And to me, I'm just having fun. I love the sport of boxing. I'm doing this because I love it. I enjoy it, and I've been doing it for so long. So for me, I'm just going out there having fun, and I just love what I'm doing. So
So tell me,
I never take, I take the good with the bad, and the bad with the good.
I get you. All right. So tell me on July 30th, what kind of fun you're going to have with Jose Benavides?
I'm gonna go in there. Like I said before, it's gonna be the Danny Garcia show. I'm back in Brooklyn. It's my home away from home, and I just can't wait. It's been a year and a half since I've been in the ring, and I'm headed to the gym right now to put the work in. And come fight night, it will be no regrets. We're gonna go in there and get the job done, get this W.
All right. We'll let it go with this. All right. So, Danny Garcia, tell me what's the funniest thing that has ever happened to you in a fight? Pro, amateur, you tell me, because maybe we didn't see it or something along those lines. I've seen most of your fights. So I'm just trying because it might have been an exchange in the corner. It might have
Yeah,
been something you heard. It might have been one of your opponents or something. Tell me something that happened funny in one of your fights because you've been around long enough that something
yeah.
has had to happen.
Well, I mean, I got kind of a funny story. When I was fighting Matisse, I got back to the corner, and I think he busted my eardrum, so I really couldn't hear.
Oh
So
God.
my pop is screaming, "Get down, let's do this!" And then he smacks me, boom, and I said, "I can't hear." Like he just thought I wasn't paying attention, but I really couldn't hear. So he smacked me a couple times, and I said, I can't hear you. I mean, I got a busted eardrum." So that was like a funny part. That was like a funny moment in my career because he thought I wasn't listening, but I just couldn't hear.
So how does that repair a busted eardrum?
Well, they gave me some eardrops. I know them. I remember the next day I was kind of walking crooked, like to the side,
Oh
because
God.
it messed with
So
your equilibrium. Yeah,
your
yeah,
equilibrium.
yeah. Your ear messes with your equilibrium. So I was kind of walking crooked, and I think that was kind of like a funny moment in my career where he just thought I wasn't listening, but I couldn't hear.
That's because there were other times where you weren't really listening. So he thought this was another one of those times, right?
Exactly, exactly.
There you go. All right, Danny. Hey, listen, man.
So
Thank you for
that's
taking
exactly
some
what it was.
time. Yeah, exactly. We all do it, man. I mean, we're all guilty, right?
Thank you.
That happens to all of us, right?
For sure.
Vuela un avión. As
For
they
sure.
whack. That's how it goes. All right, Danny. Appreciate you, my brother, man. Good luck. Good luck against
Thank you.
Benavides. on the 30th there at the Barclays Center, man. We look forward to having you on again. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You got it. There you go. Danny
Yep.
Garcia, baby.
Cool.
Debut, 154 pounds, junior middleweight. And it'll be at Showtime, so you can watch it July 30th from the Barclays Center. He'll take on Jose Benavides. It should be a fun match. I am looking forward to it as a boxing fan myself. I love it, so I am a fan. So I'm looking forward to it.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.